Earlier
The pressure is
speculation
mounting for
suggested
Dawn
that
in
she
a mad
might
day,
be
and
Jean
things are
Tate,
set to become
Zoe
even more
Tate's daughter,
complicated
but
next week
fans are
when
now
Kim
wondering
returns.
whether she could actually have
Dawn
ties
made the
to the King
decision to
family.
leave Joe after
Ramsdon
Billy
and his
told her that
partnership
her
with
future
Serena
husband was
Sugden in their
responsible for
mission
putting
to
him in
bring down the
hospital.
Tates has already
Dawn and
fueled
Billy then
plenty of
began
theories.
plotting their escape to
Some
Spain,
viewers
believing
previously
they could flee
suspected
while
that
Joe
she
was
could be
away on a
Graham
stag do.
Foster's daughter or Jean,
However, their plan took an
particularly because of her
unexpected turn earlier
determination
in
to
the week
destroy
when
Kim
Dawn and
Tate.
Billy
Her
realized
vow
Joe
to
had never
finally
traveled
take
to
Kim
Prague as
down
planned.
convinced fans that a
Instead,
revenge
Graham
plan
led
could
them
be at
to
the
a
heart
field
of
where
the
Joe revealed
storyline.
that he had
However,
arranged a surprise
viewers
combined
now
stag and
believe the
hen party.
mystery surrounding
Following the
Thea
clay pigeon
could be
shooting,
connected to
Joe
Suddy King's
invited the
return.
group to the hike
Fans
for
think
food and
Suddy
drinks.
may have her sights
While
set on
there,
home
Billy
farm
made a
and
shocking
could
discovery.
need Kim out of the way
Kev
to
had
achieve
found
her
out about
goal.
the event
This
and
has led
turned
to a
up hoping
fresh
for free
theory
food
that
and
Thea
alcohol.
could be Suddy's daughter.
After drinking too
Others
much,
believe she
Kev
may
confessed to
not be
Billy that
related
he
to
was
Suddy at
actually
all,
the person who
but could
attacked
secretly
him,
be
not
working
Joe.
alongside her.
The revelation
Could Thea
left Billy
and
facing an
Suddy
impossible
be
choice.
plotting together with Serena,
If he told Dawn the
also
truth,
involved
he
to
risked
take
losing her
control of
because
home
she would
farm?
no longer have a
Suddy and
reason to
Kim have
leave Joe.
never previously
But
feuded
if he
or
stayed
even
silent,
met,
he could still
leading
escape
fans to
with Dawn and
question
start
whether
a
the
new
real
life with
target
her
is
while
home
carrying the
farm
secret
rather
with
than
him
Kim
forever.
herself. There is
Next
also another
week,
possibility.
Dawn and Joe's
As
wedding day
Thea
finally
is a
arrives.
detective, her campaign
As the morning
against the
begins,
Tates could be
Graham hides
connected to
his
the
concerns
family's
behind
criminal
a smile
past.
and assures Joe
One
that
fan
nothing will
predicted,
go wrong.
surely this has got to be Suddy
Downstairs,
King's
Dawn is
upcoming
extremely
return.
anxious
I
after
could be
realizing
wrong,
that Kim
but I'm
has
sensing
returned.
something. Another
She
viewer
knows it will be
wrote,
much harder to
she's
escape.
Suddy's daughter, while a
While
third
Kim is
agreed
keeping a close
Suddy
eye on
and Jimmy's
everything,
daughter.
but Billy
A fourth
manages to
fan
reassure her.
suggested that both Thea
Dawn
and
thanks Billy for
Serena
being so
could be
dependable,
connected to Suddy.
making him feel
Another
even more
theory
guilty about the
proposed that
secret
their
he is
possible
keeping.
plan could be to
Although Kim's
somehow
kindness makes
claim
Dawn
home
feel
farm,
increasingly guilty,
potentially
she pushes
creating
those
an
feelings aside
interesting
and
new
uses her father's memory
storyline
as part of a
involving
plan to
several
get Kim out
characters
of the way
who may
before she
have their
leaves.
own reasons for wanting
By now,
control of the
Graham is
estate.
convinced that Dawn
Returning
is
to the
hiding
Suddy
something.
theory, one fan
His
said,
questioning
it
eventually
must be
causes
something to do
Lucas
with
to make a
Suddy
mistake
because
as he
she's supposed to be
accidentally
coming
gives away
back.
his parents'
Another
escape plan.
viewer shared, I
Graham
initially
quickly
thought
heads
it
to
could
home
be
farm
connected
where
to
he
Suddy
finds
King.
Dawn outside the
Maybe they're
stables
working
while she is
together,
speaking to
or
Billy on the
perhaps they're
phone.
related. The
He is stunned
speculation
to learn that
continued
she is
with one
preparing to
fan
break Joe's heart.
suggesting a possible connection
But
to
Dawn
Suddy,
insists that she has
either as
good
her
reason to
daughter
flee
or
after
as
believing
Jamie's
Joe was
girlfriend.
responsible for
Another
putting
viewer
Billy in
questioned
hospital.
whether Thea
Graham
could be
then
linked
asks a
to
question that
Suddy's
leaves Dawn
upcoming
stunned.
arrival. However,
If Billy was
some
attacked
fans
from
believe it
behind,
could
how
actually
did
be
he know that
Serena
Joe was the
who has a
person who
connection to
assaulted him?
Suddy. One post
The question
read,
leaves Dawn shaken,
I'm
but
starting to
she
think
refuses
Serena
to
is
dwell on
working
it.
with Suddy, which is
When
why she's
Graham
digging
fails
around
to
home
convince
farm.
her to abandon
Another
her
fan
escape
added,
plan, he
I
takes
think
her car
Serena
keys.
might be linked to Suddy.
However,
Whatever the
Dawn is
truth
just
may
as
be,
determined to get
fans are
away.
hoping the mystery surrounding
In desperation,
Thea,
she grabs a
Serena,
shovel and
and
strikes
Suddy
Graham,
will soon be
knocking him
revealed.
to the ground.
The second time around
Time is
doesn't look as
rapidly
though it will
running
go
out.
smoothly either.
With
Jimmy
Dawn's exit
King and
approaching,
Nicola's
will she really
first
manage to
Emmerdale
escape
wedding,
and begin a
which
new
took
life
place
with
in
Billy?
June 2010,
Or is a
nearly
devastating
didn't
tragedy
happen
waiting
after
just
Nicola
around the
bit a
corner?
child. As the couple
It appears
prepared
that
to
Jimmy
renew
King
their
could be facing a
vows,
tragic fate
fans
in
may be
Emmerdale
wondering
after
whether their
viewers
second
spotted what they
attempt will
believe
be
was
any
a
less
major hint
dramatic.
in the latest
Probably
episode.
not. Their original
Fans
wedding
think
day
several clues
was
suggest that
chaotic,
Jimmy, who
strange,
has reportedly
and
been confirmed to leave
unexpectedly
the
hilarious.
ITV soap, could
With
be
Nicola
killed off.
looking back on the disastrous
Reports
occasion
earlier
in
this year
tonight's
claimed that the
episode,
character would die
Thursday,
with actor
August
Nick Mans
20th,
allegedly being
we've taken a
written
trip
out after
down
more
memory
than 20
lane
years
to
in the role.
revisit everything that went
Jimmy
on.
has not appeared
Here's what
on screen
happened.
regularly
At
over the past year,
Bulling
but he has
Nicola
recently
began
become far
seeing
more
Jimmy,
involved in the show.
the eldest of the King
There
brothers,
have also been
in
several
2009.
conversations about his
Their
future,
romance
his
started
legacy,
after they
and
drowned
memories
their
from his
sorrows
past.
in the pub and
In
ended up
Friday's
sleeping
episode,
together in the
Jimmy
back
opened
of a
up to
truck.
Charity Dingo,
However,
someone he has known
Nicola
for
was
many
embarrassed
years.
by their encounter
He was
and
sitting beside the
initially
graves of
rejected
his late
Jimmy's
father,
attempts to
Tom
begin a
King,
proper
and his
relationship.
brothers,
The
Carl,
pair later
Max,
ended up
and
together
Matthew,
again,
who
but
have all
Nicola,
died during
which
their time
child
on
did
the show.
Nicola bite in a mad
Charity
Dale?
offered Jimmy
After
comfort
everything
after
they
he
had
was
been
forced to
through
sell his
before
long-running
Angelica's
business,
arrival,
which some viewers
Jimmy
saw as
and
another sign
Nicola
that his
might
time
have
in the
hoped for
village
some
could
better
soon be
luck
coming
when their
to an
wedding day
end.
approached.
She
Unfortunately,
also spoke
that
about
wasn't
what
the
we leave
case.
behind.
In the weeks leading up to
While
their
Jimmy
June
was surrounded by
2010
references to his
ceremony,
deceased relatives,
Nicola became
further fueling
involved in a
speculation
bitter
that his
feud
own
with
death
Viv
could be
Hope.
approaching.
Viv's daughter Kathy
The
bid
soap has not
Angelica,
officially
leaving
confirmed
Nicola
Jimmy's departure
furious.
or revealed when it
Determined
might
to
happen.
teach the child a lesson,
However,
Nicola
fans
bit
believe
Kathy
the latest
back.
scene strongly
Viv was
hinted that he could be
outraged
preparing
and
to leave
quickly
the village
reported
and
Nicola
potentially
to the
suffer the same
police
fate
for
as
assaulting
other
her
members
daughter.
of the King family.
Nicola was charged and
One
given a
viewer
court
wrote
date.
on social
But there
media,
was one major
"Does
problem.
anyone else
It
think
was
tonight's
scheduled for the
episode
very
massively
same day
foreshadowed
as
Jimmy's
her wedding
death?"
to Jimmy. Wedding
One fan
chaos for
pointed to
Jimmy
Charity's
and
comments
Nicola.
about what Jimmy
Nicola
would leave
considered
behind,
canceling
saying
the
they
wedding,
saw it as another
but Jimmy
possible hint
remained
about his
determined that they
future.
would get married no
Another
matter
viewer
what happened
agreed,
at court.
writing that
On the
if
day
the
of the
scenes were
hearing,
not
Nicola
foreshadowing, they did not
unexpectedly
know what
ran into
was.
Viv in the courthouse
A third
toilets
fan believed
and
Jimmy
offered her
and
a
Charity's
heartfelt
recent scenes
apology.
together felt
Viv
like a
eventually
farewell between the
softened
actors,
and
while
admitted in
another
court
suggested
that
Jimmy
she had
selling the
never
haulage
intended
business
for
to
the
Ruby and
situation
Caleb
to
was
become
further
so
evidence that his
serious.
character
She
could soon be
explained that
killed
she had
off.
simply wanted to teach
One
Nicola a
detailed theory
lesson.
described the
As a
episode as
result,
particularly
Nicola
eerie,
was given
with viewers
probation.
noticing conversations
However,
about Jimmy's
Nicola
legacy and
then
what
had to
people leave
rush
behind.
straight to her wedding.
The
After
recent
quickly
nostalgia,
changing into
plans
her
for a
bridal
vow
dress in the
renewal, the
toilets,
sale of his
she was
business, and
horrified
his
to
visit to
discover
the
that their
graves of his
wedding car
deceased
had been
relatives were
clamped.
all seen
The
as
wedding
possible
party had
signs of
no
what could be
choice
ahead.
but to squeeze into a van
Another fan said
instead.
Jimmy and
Nicola
Charity's
sat in
scene
the
was
front
beautiful,
beside Viv,
but also
who took
felt
the wheel while
unusually final.
Jimmy, Rodney,
While
and
others
Paul
believed the
crammed
visit
into
to
the
the
back.
graves was a major
As they
piece of
raced towards the
foreshadowing.
church, Nicola
One viewer
urged
argued that the
Viv to
loss
put her
of his
foot down.
business,
They
the
finally
discussions about
arrived
legacy,
just in time
and the
to
references to
exchange
what
their
he would leave
vows
behind
during a
all made
hurried
the scenes
ceremony.
feel like a
But
goodbye.
Nicola was left
The
completely
speculation
stunned when
continued
she
with
saw
one worried
Jimmy
fan
wearing
begging Jimmy
kilt.
to stay safe in the
Emmerdale has
upcoming
confirmed
episodes.
Billy Fletcher's decision
Another
over
praised the
leaving
writers
the
for giving
village
the
after he
character a
discovered
significant
that
amount
Kev
of time
Barton
and
was
attention,
responsible for the
believing the
brutal
scenes were
attack
helping to
that
prepare
left him
viewers for
lying on the
Jimmy's possible
floor
departure.
at the depot.
Imado
With
star
Emmerdale
Amelia
fans
Flanagan has
previously
shared her thoughts
speculating
on
that
what could be
DSD
next for
rammed
April
in
Windsor.
could be related to Zoe Tate
Following
or
the
Graham
character's
Foster.
recent difficult
A new
storylines,
theory
show bosses have
suggests she
already
may
revealed that
instead have
April
links
and
to
her
a
boyfriend
completely
Dylan
different
Penders
family.
are set for happier
According to
times after
viewers,
both characters were
DSD
exploited by Ray
rammed in
Waters
could be
and
connected
Celia
to a
Daniels.
returning Immado character.
Following her powerful
Earlier speculation
performances,
suggested
Amelia
that
has
she
also
might
been
be
nominated
Jean
for
Tate,
Best Young Performer
Zoe
at the
Tate's daughter,
2026
but fans are
Inside
now
Soap
wondering
Awards.
whether she could actually have
Speaking
ties
while
to the King
taking part
family.
in a special
Ramston
Inside
and
Soap photo
partnership
shoot
with Serena
celebrating
Sugden
Emmerdale's
in their
nominations,
mission to bring
Amelia
down the
said she
Tates
felt honored
has
to be
already
recognized for
fueled
the
plenty
award.
of theories.
Being
Some
nominated
viewers
for Best
previously
Young Performer
suspected
is
that
an
she could be
absolute
Graham
privilege.
Foster's daughter or
She
Jean,
said, "I feel very lucky
particularly
to have
because
been
of her
chosen and I'm
determination to
incredibly
destroy
grateful."
Kim Tate. Her
She
vow to
also
finally
spoke
take
positively
Kim
about
down
taking part in
convinced
the photo
fans
shoot,
that a
saying
revenge
she
plan
enjoyed
could be at
spending
the
time in
heart
the
of the
studio,
storyline.
taking pictures,
However,
and seeing the
viewers
other
now
stars
believe
dressed
the
in their
mystery
different looks.
surrounding Thea
When asked
could be
why fans
connected
should
to
vote
Suddy
for
King's
Emmerdale as
return.
Best Soap,
Fans
Amelia
think
joked that
Suddy
it was
may
simply
have her
because
sights
it was
set
the
on
best
Home
soap.
Farm and could
She
need
added
Kim
that the
out of
program
the
had
way to
enjoyed an
achieve her
incredible
goal.
year filled
This has
with
led to
drama,
a fresh
humor,
theory that
and entertaining
Thea could be
storylines.
Suddy's daughter.
Looking
Others
back on
believe
the
she
past
may
12
not be
months,
related to
Amelia
Suddy at
described
all,
April's
but could
exploitation
secretly be
storyline as
working
both
alongside
challenging
her.
and rewarding.
Could Thea
She
and
explained
Suddy
that while the
be
subject
plotting
matter
together
had
with
been
Serena,
difficult to portray,
also
she had
involved
enjoyed
to
taking
take
on such a
control of
gritty
Home
and
Farm?
realistic
Suddy
storyline.
and Kim have never
Joe and
previously
Dawn's wedding is
feuded
set to
or
take
even
center
met,
stage in Emmerdale
leading
next
fans to
week,
question
but their
whether the
big day
real
will be
target was
remembered for
Home
all the
Farm
wrong
rather than
reasons
Kim
as Dawn
herself.
prepares to escape
There is
and
also
tragedy
another
strikes.
possibility. As
Although
Thea
many
is a
details surround,
detective,
the pressure
her
is
campaign
mounting for
against
Dawn
the
in
Tates
Emmerdale,
could be
and
connected
things
to
are
the
set to
family's
become
criminal
even more
past.
complicated
One
next week
fan
when Kim
predicted,
returns.
surely this has got to be
Dawn
Suddy
made the decision
King's
to leave Joe
upcoming
after
return.
Billy
I
told
could
her
be
that her
wrong,
future
but I'm
husband was
sensing
responsible
something.
for putting
Another
him in
viewer
hospital.
wrote, she's Suddy's
Dawn
daughter,
and Billy then
while
began
Third
plotting their
agreed
escape to
Suddy
Spain,
and Jimmy's
believing they
daughter.
could flee while
A
Joe
fourth
was
fan
away on his
suggested
stag
that
do.
both Thea and
However,
Serena
their plan
could be
took an
connected to
unexpected
Suddy.
turn earlier
Another
in the week
theory
when Dawn and Billy
proposed that their
realized Joe
possible
had never
plan
traveled
could
to
be to
Prague as planned.
somehow claim Home
Instead,
Farm,
Graham led
potentially
them to a field
creating
where
an
Joe revealed that
interesting
he
new
had arranged a surprise
storyline
combined
involving
stag and
several
hen party.
characters who may have
Following
their
the
own
clay
reasons
pigeon
for
shooting,
wanting
Joe
control of the
invited the
estate.
group to the Hyde
Returning
for
to the
food and
Suddy
drinks.
theory, one fan
While
said,
there,
it
Billy
must be
made a
something to
shocking
do with
discovery.
Suddy because she's supposed
Kev
to be
had
coming
found out
back.
about the event
Another
and turned
viewer
up hoping
shared,
for free food
I
and
initially
alcohol.
thought it could be connected to
After
Suddy
drinking
King.
too much,
Maybe they're
Kev
working
confessed to
together,
Billy that he
or
was
perhaps
actually
they're
the
related.
person who attacked
The
him,
speculation
not Joe.
continued with one fan
The revelation left
suggesting
Billy
a
facing
possible
an
connection to
impossible
Suddy,
choice.
either as her
If
daughter
he told Dawn
or
the
as
truth,
Jamie's
he
girlfriend.
risked losing her
Another
because she
viewer
would no longer
questioned
have a
whether
reason to
Thea
leave Joe.
could be linked to
But if he
Suddy's
stayed
upcoming
silent,
arrival.
he could still escape
However,
with Dawn and
some
start a
fans
new life
believed it
with her
could
while
actually
carrying
be
the secret
Serena
with him
who has a
forever.
connection to Suddy.
Next week,
One post
Dawn
read,
and Joe's wedding day
I'm
finally
starting to think
arrives.
Serena is working with
As the
Suddy,
morning
which
begins,
is why she's
Graham
digging around
hides his
Home Farm.
concerns behind a
Another
smile
fan
and assures
added,
Joe that
I think
nothing will go
Serena
wrong.
might be linked to Suddy.
Downstairs,
Whatever the
Dawn
truth
is
may
extremely
be,
anxious after
fans are hoping
realizing
the
that Kim
mystery
has
surrounding
returned.
Thea, Serena,
She knows it will be
and
much
Suddy
harder
will
to
soon
escape.
be revealed. The
While
second
Kim
time
is
around
keeping a close
doesn't
eye
look
on
as though it will
everything,
go
but
smoothly
Billy
either.
manages to reassure
Jimmy
her.
King and Nicola's
Dawn thanks
first
Billy for being
Emmerdale
so
wedding
dependable,
which took
making
place in
him
June
feel even more guilty
2010,
about the secret
nearly
he is
didn't
keeping.
happen after Nicola bit
Although
child.
Kim's kindness
As
makes
the
Don
couple
feel
prepare to
increasingly
renew
guilty,
their vows,
she pushes those feelings
fans may
aside
be
and
wondering
uses her
whether their
father's
second
memory as
attempt
part
will
of
be
a
any
plan to
less
get Kim
dramatic.
out of the way
Probably
before she
not.
leaves.
Their original wedding
By now,
day
Graham
was
is convinced
chaotic,
that Don is
strange,
hiding something.
and unexpectedly
His
hilarious.
questioning eventually
With
causes
Nicola
Lucas to
looking
make a
back on the
mistake as he
disastrous
accidentally
occasion in
gives away
tonight's
his parents'
episode,
escape plan.
Thursday, August 20th,
Graham quickly
we've
heads to
taken a
Home
trip
Farm
down
where he
memory
finds
lane
Dawn
to
outside the
revisit
stables while she is
everything
speaking
that
to
went
Billy
wrong.
on the phone.
Here's what happened.
He is stunned to learn that
At
she is preparing
Nicola
to break
began
Joe's
seeing
heart.
Jimmy, the
But
eldest
Dawn
of the
insists
King
that she has
brothers,
good reason
in
to flee after
2009.
believing Joe was
Their
responsible
romance
for putting
started
Billy in
after they
hospital.
drowned their sorrows in the pub
Graham then
and
asks a
ended up
question that
sleeping
leaves
together in
Dawn
the
stunned.
back of a haulage truck.
If Billy was
However,
attacked from behind,
Nicola was
how did
embarrassed
he
by
know
their
that Joe was the
encounter
person who
and
assaulted
initially
him?
rejected Jimmy's
The
attempts to
question leaves
begin a
Dawn
proper
shaken,
relationship.
but she
The
refuses
pair
to dwell on
later
it.
ended up together again,
When
but
Graham
Nicola,
fails to
which
convince
child
her
did
to
Nicola
abandon her
bite
escape
in
plan,
Maddale?
he takes her car
After
keys.
everything they had been through
However,
before
Dawn is
Angelica's
just as
arrival,
determined to get
Jimmy
away.
and Nicola
In
might have hoped
desperation,
for some
she
better
grabs
luck
a shovel
when
and
the wedding day
strikes Graham,
approached.
knocking him to the
Unfortunately,
ground.
that wasn't the case.
Time is rapidly
In the weeks
running
leading
out.
up to their June
With Dawn's
2010
exit approaching,
ceremony,
will she really
Nicola
manage
became
to escape
involved
and
in
begin
a
a
bitter
new life with
feud
Billy?
with Viv Hope.
Or
Viv's
is a
daughter
devastating
Kathy
tragedy
bit
waiting
Angelica,
just around the
leaving
corner?
Nicola furious.
It appears that
Determined to
Jimmy
teach
King
the
could be
child a
facing a
lesson,
tragic fate
Nicola
in
bit
Emmerdale
Kathy
after
back.
viewers spotted what
Viv
they
was
believe was a major
outraged
hint in
and
the latest
quickly reported
episode.
Nicola to the police
Fans
for
think several
assaulting her
clues
daughter.
suggest that Jimmy,
Nicola was
who has
charged
reportedly
and
been
given a court
confirmed to
date.
leave the
But there
ITV
was one
soap,
major
could be
problem.
killed off.
It was scheduled for the very same
Reports
day
earlier this year
as her
claimed
wedding
that
to
the
Jimmy.
character would die
Wedding
with actor
chaos
Nick
for
Mars
Jimmy
allegedly
and
being
Nicola.
written out after
Nicola
more than 20
considered
years in the
canceling the
role.
wedding, but
Jimmy
Jimmy
has not
remained
appeared on
determined that they
screen
would get
regularly over
married
the
no
past year,
matter what
but
happened
he
in
has
court.
recently
On
become
the day
far
of the
more
hearing,
involved in the show.
Nicola unexpectedly
There have
ran
also
into
been
Viv in
several
the courthouse
conversations about
toilets
his future,
and offered
his
her a
legacy,
heartfelt
and
apology.
memories from his past.
Viv eventually softened
In Friday's
and admitted in
episode,
court
Jimmy
that
opened
she
up
had
to
never
Charity Dingle,
intended for the
someone he has
situation
known
to
for
become
many
so
years.
serious. She
He was
explained
sitting
that she
beside
had
the graves
simply
of his
wanted to
late
teach
father,
Nicola a
Tom King,
lesson.
and his
As a
brothers,
result,
Carl,
Nicola was
Max,
given
and
probation.
Matthew, who have
However,
all died during their
Nicola
time on the show.
then had to rush straight
Charity
to her
offered
wedding.
Jimmy comfort
After
after he
quickly
was forced to
changing into
sell
her
his
bridal
long-running
dress in the
business,
toilets.
which some
She was
viewers saw as
horrified
another
to
sign
discover
that
that
his
their
time in
wedding
the
car
village
had
could
been
soon be
clamped.
coming to an
The
end.
wedding party had no
She
choice
also
but to
spoke about what
squeeze
we
into a
leave
van
behind.
instead. Nicola
While
sat in
Jimmy
the
was
front
surrounded
beside
by
Viv,
references to
who
his
took the
deceased
wheel while
relatives,
Jimmy,
further fueling
Rodney,
speculation
and
that his
Paul
own
crammed
death
into
could
the
be
back.
approaching.
As they raced
The
towards the
soap
church,
has not officially
Nicola
confirmed
urged
Jimmy's departure
Viv to
or
put her
revealed
foot
when
down.
it might happen.
They finally arrived just
However,
in time
fans
to
believe the
exchange
latest
their
scene strongly
vows during a
hinted that he
hurried
could be
ceremony.
preparing to leave
But
the
Nicola
village
was
and
left
potentially suffer the
completely
same fate
stunned when
as
she
other
saw
members of
Jimmy
the King
wearing a
family.
kilt. Emmerdale
One
has
viewer wrote on
confirmed
social
Billy
media,
Fletcher's
"Does
decision
anyone
over
else think
leaving the
tonight's
village
episode
after he
massively
discovered
foreshadowed
that
Jimmy's
Kev
death?"
Barton was responsible
One
for the
fan
brutal
pointed to
attack
Charity's
that
comment
left him
about what
lying
Jimmy
on the
would leave
floor
behind,
at the
saying
depot.
they saw it as
With
another possible
Emmerdale
hint
fans
about his
previously
future.
speculating that
Another
DS
viewer
rammed
agreed,
in could be
writing that
related to
if the
Zoe
scenes
Tate
were
or
not
Graham
foreshadowing,
Foster.
they did not
A
know
new
what
theory
was.
suggests she may
A third fan
instead have
believed
links to a
Jimmy and
completely
Charity's
different
recent
family.
scenes together felt
According
like a
to
farewell
viewers,
between the
DS
actors,
Thea
while
rammed
another
in
suggested
could be
Jimmy selling
connected
the
to a
haulage business
returning
to Ruby
Immado
and Caleb
character.
was further
Earlier
evidence that his
speculation
character could
suggested
soon
that
be
she
killed
might
off.
be Jean Tate,
One
Zoe
detailed theory
Tate's daughter,
described the
but
episode
fans
as
are now
particularly
wondering
eerie,
whether she could
with viewers
actually have
noticing
ties to the King
conversations
family.
about Jimmy's legacy
Ramston,
and
in
what people leave
partnership with
behind.
Serena Sugden in
The
their
recent
mission to
nostalgia,
bring down the
plans
Tates,
for a vow
has
renewal,
already
the sale
fueled
of his
plenty of
business,
theories.
and his visit
Some
to the
viewers
graves of his
previously
deceased
suspected
relatives
that
were
she
all
could be
seen as
Graham
possible signs
Foster's
of what could
daughter
be
or
ahead.
Jean,
Another
particularly
fan
because
said
of her
Jimmy and
determination to
Charity's scene was
destroy Kim
beautiful,
Tate.
but
Her vow
also
to
felt
finally
unusually
take
final.
Kim down convinced
While
fans
others
that a
believed the
revenge
visit to the
plan could
graves
be at
was
the
a major
heart of the
piece of
storyline.
foreshadowing.
However,
One viewer
viewers now
argued that the
believe
loss
the
of his
mystery
business, the
surrounding
discussions
Thea
about
could
legacy,
be connected
and the
to Suddy
references
King's
to what he
return.
would leave behind
Fans
all
think
made the
Suddy
scenes feel
may
like a
have her
goodbye.
sights set on home farm
The speculation
and could
continued
need
with
Kim
one worried
out of
fan
the way
begging
to
Jimmy to
achieve
stay
her
safe
goal.
in the upcoming
This has led to a
episodes.
fresh theory that Thea
Another praised the
could be
writers
Suddy's
for giving the
daughter.
character a
Others
significant
believe she
amount
may
of
not
time
be
and
related to
attention,
Suddy at all,
believing the scenes
but
were
could
helping to
secretly be
prepare
working
viewers for
alongside
Jimmy's
her.
possible departure.
Could Thea and
Immado star
Suddy
Amelia
be
Flanagan
plotting
has
together
shared
with
her thoughts
Serena,
on what could be
also
next for
involved
April
to
Windsor.
take control of home farm?
Following the
Suddy
character's
and
recent
Kim have
difficult
never
storylines,
previously
show
feuded
bosses have
or
already
even
revealed
met,
that April and
leading
her
fans to
boyfriend Dylan
question
Penders
whether the
are
real
set for
target is
happier
home
times
farm
after
rather
both
than Kim
characters were
herself.
exploited by
There is There's also
Waters
another
and Celia
possibility.
Daniels.
As Thea
Following
is a
her
detective,
powerful
her
performances,
campaign
Amelia
against
has
the
also
Tates
been
could be
nominated for
connected
Best
to the
Young
family's
Performer
criminal
at the
past.
2026
One fan
Inside Soap
predicted,
Awards.
surely this has got to be
Speaking
Suddy
while
King's
taking part in
upcoming
a special
return.
Inside
I
Soap
could be
photo
wrong,
shoot
but I'm
celebrating
sensing
Imadale's
something.
nominations,
Another
Amelia
viewer
said
wrote,
she felt honored
she's
to be
Suddy's
recognized
daughter,
for the award.
while a third agreed,
Being
Suddy
nominated
and
for
Jimmy's
Best Young
daughter.
Performer
A
is an
fourth fan
absolute
suggested
privilege.
that both Thea
She
and
said,
Serena
I feel very
could be
lucky to
connected
have been
Suddy.
chosen and I'm
Another
incredibly
theory
grateful.
proposed that their
She
possible
also
plan
spoke
could be
positively
to
about taking
somehow
part in the
claim
photo
home
shoot,
farm,
saying she enjoyed
potentially
spending time in
creating
the
an
studio,
interesting
taking
new
pictures, and
storyline
seeing the other
involving
stars dressed
several
in their
characters
different looks.
who may have their own
When
reasons
asked why
for
fans
wanting
should vote
control
for
of the
Emmerdale
estate.
as Best Soap,
Returning to the
Amelia
Suddy
joked that it
theory,
was simply
one
because
fan
it was the
said,
best soap.
it must be something to do with
She
Suddy
added that the
because she's
program had
supposed to be
enjoyed
coming
an
back.
incredible year filled
Another
with
viewer
drama,
shared,
humor, and
I
entertaining
initially thought it could be
storylines.
connected to Suddy King.
Looking back
Maybe
on
they're
the past
working
12
together,
months,
or
Amelia
perhaps
described
they're
April's
related. The
exploitation
speculation
storyline as both
continued with
challenging
one
and rewarding.
fan suggesting a
She
possible
explained that
connection
while
to
the
Suddy,
subject matter had
either
been
as her
difficult to
daughter
portray,
or as
she had
Jamie's
enjoyed
girlfriend.
taking on such
Another
a gritty
viewer
and realistic
questioned whether
storyline.
Thea could be
Joe and
linked
Dawn's
to
wedding is set
Suddy's
to take
upcoming
center stage
arrival.
in Emmerdale
However,
next week, but
some
their big
fans
day will
believe
be
it could
remembered for
actually
all
be
the wrong
Serena
reasons as
who
Dawn
has a
prepares
connection
to
to
escape
Suddy.
and tragedy
One
strikes.
post read,
Although many
I'm starting
details
to think
surround,
Serena
the pressure
is
is
working with
mounting for
Suddy,
Dawn in
which is why
Emmerdale,
she's digging
and
around
things are
Home
set to
Farm.
become even
Another
more
fan
complicated
added,
next week
I
when
think
Kim
Serena
returns.
might be linked to Suddy.
Dawn made the
Whatever the
decision to
truth
leave
may
Joe
be,
after Billy told
fans
her
are
that
hoping
her
the
future
mystery
husband was
surrounding
responsible
Thea,
for putting him in
Serena,
hospital.
and Suddy will soon be
Dawn and
revealed.
Billy then
The
began
second
plotting
time
their
around
escape to
doesn't
Spain,
look as though it will
believing
go
they could flee
smoothly
while
either.
Joe was away on
Jimmy
his stag
King
do.
and Nicola's first
However, their
Emmerdale
plan
wedding,
took an
which
unexpected
took place
turn
in June
earlier in the week when
2010,
Dawn and Billy
nearly
realized
didn't
Joe had
happen
never
after
traveled to
Nicola
Prague
bit a
as planned.
child. As the couple
Instead,
prepared to renew
Graham
their
led them to a
vows,
field where Joe
fans may
revealed
be
that he
wondering
had
whether
arranged
their
a
second
surprise
attempt will
combined
be
stag
any
and hen
less
party.
dramatic. Probably not.
Following the clay
Their
pigeon
original
shooting,
wedding day
Joe invited
was
the group to
chaotic,
the heights for
strange,
food and drinks.
and unexpectedly
While there,
hilarious.
Billy made a
With
shocking
Nicola looking
discovery.
back on the disastrous
Kev
occasion
had
in
found out
tonight's
about the
episode,
event and turned up
Thursday,
hoping for free
August
food
20th,
and alcohol.
we've taken a trip down
After
memory
drinking
lane
too much,
to revisit
Kev confessed to
everything
Billy
that
that
went
he
wrong.
was actually the
Here's what
person
happened.
who attacked him,
Aturbuni
not Joe.
Homasi. Nicola
The
began
revelation
seeing
left Billy
Jimmy,
facing an
the
impossible
eldest of the
choice.
King brothers.
If he told Dawn the
2009.
truth, he
Their
risked losing
romance
her because she
started
would
after
no
they
longer
drowned
have a
their
reason to
sorrows in
leave
a
Joe.
pub and ended up
But if he
sleeping
stayed
together in the
silent,
back
he
of a
could still
haulage truck.
escape with Dawn and start a
However,
new life with
Nicola
her
was
while carrying the
embarrassed by their
secret with him
encounter
forever.
and initially
Next
rejected
week,
Jimmy's
Dawn
attempts to
and
begin
Joe's
a
wedding
proper
day finally
relationship.
arrives.
The pair later
As
ended
the
up
morning
together
begins,
again, but
Graham
Nicola,
hides his
which child
concerns
did
behind a
Nicola
smile
bite
and
in
assures
a
Joe
mad
that
deal?
nothing will go
After
wrong.
everything they had been through
Downstairs,
before
Dawn is
Angelica's
extremely
arrival,
anxious after
Jimmy
realizing that
and
Kim
Nicola
has returned.
might have hoped for some better luck
She knows
when
it
their
will be
wedding day
much harder
approached.
to escape.
Unfortunately, that
While
wasn't
Kim
the
is keeping a
case.
close eye on
In the
everything,
weeks leading up to
but
their
Billy
June
manages to reassure her.
2010 ceremony,
Dawn thanks
Nicola
Billy for
became
being so
involved in a
dependable,
bitter
making
feud
him
with
feel
Viv
even
Hope.
more guilty
Viv's
about the
daughter
secret he
Kathy
is
bit
keeping.
Angelica,
Although
leaving Nicola
Kim's kindness
furious.
makes Dawn feel
Determined to
increasingly
teach
guilty,
the child a
she pushes
lesson,
those feelings
Nicola
aside
bit
and uses
Kathy
her
back.
father's memory as
Viv
part
was
of a plan to get
outraged
Kim out
and
of the way
quickly
before she
reported
leaves.
Nicola to the police
By
for
now,
assaulting her
Graham
daughter.
is convinced that
Nicola
Dawn
was
is hiding
charged
something.
and given a court date.
His
But there was
questioning
one
eventually
major problem.
causes Lucas
It
to
was
make a
scheduled for
mistake
the
as he
very same
accidentally
day
gives
as
away
her
his
wedding to
parents'
Jimmy.
escape plan.
Wedding chaos for
Graham
Jimmy
quickly
and
heads to
Nicola.
Home Farm where
Nicola
he finds Dawn
considered
outside the
canceling the
stables
wedding,
while she is
but
speaking to
Jimmy
Billy on the
remained
phone.
determined that they would get
He
married
is stunned to
no
learn
matter
that
what
she is
happened in
preparing
court.
to break
On
Joe's
the day
heart.
of the hearing, Nicola
But Dawn insists that she
unexpectedly
has
ran
good
into
reason
Viv
to
in the
flee after
courthouse
believing Joe
toilets
was
and
responsible
offered her
for
a
putting Billy in
heartfelt
hospital.
apology. Viv eventually
Graham then asks a
softened
question
and
that
admitted
leaves
in
Dawn
court
stunned.
that she had never
If Billy
intended
was
for the
attacked from
situation to
behind,
become so
how did he know that
serious.
Joe was the
She
person who
explained that
assaulted
she had
him?
simply wanted to teach
The question
Nicola a
leaves Dawn
lesson.
shaken,
As a
but she
result,
refuses to dwell
Nicola
on
was
it.
given probation.
When
However,
Graham fails to convince
Nicola
her to
then
abandon
had
her
to
escape
rush
plan,
straight
he
to her
takes her
wedding.
car keys.
After quickly changing into
However,
her bridal
Dawn
dress
is
in the
just as
toilets,
determined to
she
get
was
away.
horrified to discover
In
that their wedding
desperation,
car had
she
been
grabs a
planned.
shovel and
The
strikes
wedding party
Graham,
had
knocking
no
him to the
choice but
ground.
to squeeze into a van
Time is
instead.
rapidly running out.
Nicola sat in the front beside
With Dawn's
Viv,
exit
who
approaching,
took the wheel
will
while
she really
Jimmy,
manage to escape
Rodney,
and begin a
and
new life
Paul
with Billy?
crammed into the back.
Or
As
is a
they raced
devastating
towards the
tragedy
church,
waiting just around
Nicola
the corner?
urged Viv to put her
It
foot
appears
down.
that Jimmy
They
King could
finally
be facing a
arrived
tragic
just in
fate in
time
Emmerdale
to
after
exchange
viewers
their
spotted
vows
what they
during a
believe was a
hurried
major
ceremony.
hint in the
But
latest
Nicola was
episode.
left completely
Fans
stunned
think
when she
several
saw
clues suggest
Jimmy
that
wearing
Jimmy,
the kilt.
who has reportedly
Emmerdale
been
has
confirmed to
confirmed
leave the
Billy
ITV
Fletcher's
soap,
decision
could be
over
killed off.
leaving the village after he
Reports
discovered
earlier this
that
year
Kev
claimed that the
Barton
character
was
would die with
responsible for the
actor Nick
brutal
Myers
attack
allegedly
that
being
left
written
him
out
lying
after
on
more
the
than
floor
20 years
at
in
the
the role.
depot. With
Jimmy
Emmerdale
has not
fans
appeared on
previously
screen regularly
speculating
over
that
the past
DSD
year,
or
but he has
Ramden could
recently
be related
become
to
far more
Zoe
involved
Tate or
in the show.
Graham Foster. A
There
new
have also
theory
been several
suggests she
conversations
may
about his
instead have
future,
links to a
his
completely
legacy,
different
and
fate.
memories from his past.
According to viewers,
In Friday's
DSD or
episode,
Ramden
Jimmy
could be
opened up to
connected to a
Charity Dingle,
returning
someone he
Immortal
has known
character.
for many years.
Suggests she may instead
He
have
was
links to
sitting
a
beside the
completely
graves of
different
his
family.
late father, Tom
According to
Kim,
viewers,
and his brothers,
DSD
Carl,
or Ramden
Max,
could be
and
connected
Matthew.
to a
who have all
returning
died during their
in-battle
time on the
character.
show.
Earlier speculation
Charity offered
suggested
Jimmy
that she
comfort
might be
after he was
Jean
forced to
Tate,
sell his
Zoe
long-running
Tate's
business,
daughter, but
which some
fans are
viewers
now
saw as
wondering
another
whether
sign
she
that
could
his
actually
time in
have
the
ties
village
to the
could soon
King
be
family.
coming to an end.
Ramston, in partnership
She
with
also
Serena
spoke about
subbed
what we
in their
leave
mission
behind.
to bring down the Tates,
While Jimmy
has
was
already
surrounded by
fueled plenty
references
of
to his
theories.
deceased relatives,
Some viewers
further
previously
fueling speculation
suspected that
that
she
his
could be
own death
Graham
could be
Foster's
approaching.
daughter or Jean,
The soap has not
particularly
officially
because of
confirmed
her
Jimmy's departure
determination
or
to
revealed
destroy
when
Kim
it might
Tate.
happen.
Her vow to finally
However,
take Kim
fans
down
believe the latest
convinced
scene strongly
fans that a
hinted that
revenge
he could be
plan could be
preparing
at the
to leave
heart
the
of the
village and
storyline.
potentially suffer the
However,
same fate as
viewers
other
now
members of
believe
the
the
King family.
mystery surrounding
One viewer
Thea
wrote on
could be
social
connected
media,
to Suddy
"Does
King's
anyone
return.
else think tonight's
Fans think
episode
Suddy
massively
may have
foreshadowed
her
Jimmy's
sights
death?"
set on home farm
One
and
fan
could
pointed
need
to
Kim
Charity's
out of
comments
the way
about
to
what Jimmy
achieve her
would leave
goal.
behind,
This has led
saying
to
they
a
saw it
fresh
as another
theory that
possible hint
Thea
about his
could be
future.
Suddy's daughter.
Another
Others
viewer
believe she
agreed,
may not
writing
be
that
related
if
to
the
Suddy
scenes
at
were
all,
not
but
foreshadowing,
could
they
secretly
did
be
not know
working
what was.
alongside her. Could
A third
Thea
fan believed
and
Jimmy
Suddy
and Charity's
be
recent
plotting
scenes
together
together
with
felt
Serena,
like a farewell
also
between the
involved
actors,
to take
while another
control of Home
suggested
Farm?
Jimmy selling the
Suddy
haunted
and Kim
business
have
to Ruby
never
and Caleb was
previously
further
feuded
evidence
or
that his
even
character
met,
could soon be
leading
killed
fans
off.
to question whether the real
One
target
detailed
is
theory
Home
described
Farm
the
rather than
episode
Kim
as
herself.
particularly eerie,
There's
with
also
viewers
another
noticing
possibility.
conversations about
As
Jimmy's
Thea is
legacy
a
and what people
detective,
leave
her
behind.
campaign against the
The
Tates
recent
could be
nostalgia,
connected to the
plans for a
family's
vow
criminal
renewal,
past.
the sale of
One
his
fan
business,
predicted,
and his visit
surely
to the
this has
graves
got
of
to
his
be Suddy
deceased relatives
King's
were all
upcoming
seen as
return.
possible
I
signs
could
of
be
what
wrong,
could be ahead.
but I'm sensing something.
Another fan
Another
said
viewer
Jimmy
wrote,
and Charity's scene
she's
was
Suddy's
beautiful,
daughter,
but
while
also
third
felt
agreed
unusually final.
Suddy and Jimmy's daughter.
While
A
others
fourth
believed the
fan
visit to the
suggested that
graves
both
was a major
Thea
piece of
and
foreshadowing.
Serena could be connected
One
to
viewer
Suddy.
argued that the
Another
loss of his
theory
business,
proposed
the
that their
discussions
possible
about
plan
legacy,
could be
and
to
the references
somehow
to what he
claim
would leave
Home
behind
Farm,
all made the scenes feel
potentially
like a
creating
goodbye.
an interesting
The
new
speculation
storyline
continued with one
involving
worried fan
several
begging Jimmy to
characters
stay
who
safe
may
in
have
the
their
upcoming
own reasons
episodes.
for wanting control of the
Another
estate.
praised the writers for
Returning
giving
to
the
the Suddy
character a
theory,
significant
one
amount
fan
of time
said,
and attention,
it must be something to
believing
do
the
with
scenes were
Suddy
helping
because
to
she's
prepare
supposed
viewers
to be
for
coming
Jimmy's
back.
possible departure.
Another viewer shared,
Imado star
I
Amelia
initially
Flanagan
thought it
has
could be
shared her
connected to
thoughts on
Suddy
what
King.
could be next for
Maybe they're
April
working
Windsor.
together, or perhaps they're
Following the
related.
character's
The
recent difficult
speculation
storylines,
continued with
show
one
bosses have
fan
already revealed that
suggesting a
April and her
possible
boyfriend
connection to
Dylan
Suddy,
Penders are set
either
for
as her
happier
daughter
times
or
after
as
both
Jamie's
characters were
girlfriend.
exploited by
Another
Ray
viewer
Waters and Celia
questioned
Daniels.
whether Thea could be
Following
linked
her
to
powerful
Suddy's upcoming
performances,
arrival.
Amelia has also
However,
been nominated for
some
Best
fans
Young
believe it
Performer
could
at the
actually be
2026
Serena who
Inside
has a
Soap
connection to
Awards.
Suddy. One
Speaking
post
while
read,
taking part in a special
I'm starting
Inside
to think
Soap
Serena
photo shoot
is working with
celebrating
Suddy,
Imade's
which
nomination,
is why she's digging
Amelia
around Home
said she
Farm.
felt honored to be
Another fan
recognized
added,
for the award.
I think Serena might
Being
be linked
nominated
to
for
Suddy.
Best Young
Whatever
Performer
the
is an
truth may
absolute
be,
privilege.
fans are hoping the
She
mystery
said,
surrounding
I feel very
Thea,
lucky to have been
Serena,
chosen and I'm
and Suddy
incredibly
will soon
grateful.
be revealed. The
She
second
also
time
spoke
around
positively
doesn't look
about
as though it
taking
will go
part in the
smoothly
photo
either.
shoot, saying she
Jimmy
enjoyed
King and
spending time in the
Nicola's
studio,
first
taking
Emmerdale
pictures,
wedding,
and
which
seeing
took
the other
place in
stars
June
dressed in their
2010,
different looks.
nearly didn't happen
When asked
after
why
Nicola
fans should
bit a
vote for
child.
Emmerdale as
As the
best
couple
soap,
prepared to
Amelia joked
renew
that
their
it was
vows,
simply because it was
fans
the
may
best
be
soap.
wondering whether their second
She
attempt
added
will
that
be
the
any
program
less
had
dramatic.
enjoyed an incredible
Probably
year
not.
filled with
Their
drama,
original
humor,
wedding day
and entertaining
was chaotic,
storylines.
strange,
Looking
and
back on the past
unexpectedly
12
hilarious.
months, Amelia
With
described
Nicola
April's
looking back on
exploitation
the
storyline
disastrous
as both
occasion in
challenging
tonight's
and rewarding.
episode, Thursday,
She explained
August
that
20th,
while the subject
we've taken
matter
a
had
trip
been
down
difficult
memory
to
lane
portray,
to
she had
revisit
enjoyed taking
everything
on
that
such a
went
gritty
wrong.
and realistic
Here's what happened.
storyline.
Aturbuling
Joe and
homeless.
Don's wedding is
Nicola
set to take
began
center
seeing
stage in
Jimmy,
Emmerdale next
the
week,
eldest of
but
the
their
King
big day will be
brothers,
remembered
in
for all the wrong
2009.
reasons as Don
Their
prepares to
romance
escape and
started after
tragedy
they drowned
strikes.
their sorrows in the pub
Although many
and
details
ended up
surround,
sleeping
the pressure
together
is
in the
mounting
back
for
of a
Don
haulage
in
truck.
Emmerdale, and
However,
things are set to become
Nicola was
even more
embarrassed by their
complicated next week
encounter
when Kim
and
returns.
initially rejected
Don
Jimmy's
made the
attempts
decision
to
to
begin a
leave
proper
Joe after
relationship.
Billy told her
The
that
pair
her
later
future
ended
husband
up
was
together
responsible
again,
for
but
putting him in
Nicola,
hospital.
which child did Nicola bite
Don
in
and Billy then
Emmerdale?
began plotting
After
their escape to
everything they
Spain,
had been
believing
through
they could flee
before
while Joe was
Angelica's
away on
arrival,
his stag do.
Jimmy and Nicola
However,
might
their
have hoped
plan
for
took
some
an
better luck
unexpected
when their
turn
wedding day
earlier in the
approached.
week when Don and Billy
Unfortunately,
realized Joe
that
had
wasn't
never
the case.
traveled to Prague as
In the
planned.
weeks leading up to their June
Instead,
2010
Graham led them to a
ceremony,
feud where Joe
Nicola
revealed that
became
he had
involved
arranged
in
a
a
surprise
bitter
combined
feud
stag
with
and
Viv
hen
Hope.
party.
Viv's daughter Kathy
Following
bit
the clay
Angelica,
pigeon shooting,
leaving
Joe
Nicola
invited the
furious.
group to the hide for
Determined
food
to
and
teach
drinks.
the child a lesson,
While
Nicola
there,
bit
Billy
Kathy
made a
back.
shocking discovery.
Viv was outraged
Kev had
and
found out
quickly
about the
reported
event
Nicola
and turned up
to the
hoping for
police
free
for
food and
assaulting her
alcohol.
daughter. Nicola was
After
charged
drinking too
and given a
much,
court date.
Kev confessed to
But there
Billy
was
that
one
he
major
was actually
problem.
the person
It was
who
scheduled
attacked
for the
him,
very
not
same
Joe.
day as her wedding
The
to Jimmy.
revelation left Billy
Wedding
facing an
chaos for
impossible
Jimmy
choice.
and Nicola. Nicola
If he told Don
considered
the truth,
canceling the
he
wedding,
risked losing
but
her
Jimmy
because she would
remained
no longer
determined
have
that
a
they would
reason
get
to leave
married
Joe.
no matter what happened in
But if he
court.
stayed silent,
On the day of the
he
hearing,
could still escape
Nicola
with Don and start a
unexpectedly
new life
ran
with
into
her while
Viv in
carrying the
courthouse
secret with him
toilets
forever.
and offered her a
Next
heartfelt
week,
apology.
Don and
Viv
Joe's wedding
eventually
day finally
softened
arrives.
and admitted in court
As the
that
morning
she had
begins,
never intended
Graham
for the
hides his
situation
concerns
to
behind
become
a smile
so
and assures
serious.
Joe that nothing
She
will go wrong.
explained that she had simply wanted
Downstairs,
to teach Nicola a
Don is
lesson.
extremely
As a
anxious
result,
after realizing that
Nicola
Kim
was
has
given
returned.
probation. However,
She knows it will be
Nicola
much harder to
then had
escape.
to rush straight to her
While
wedding.
Kim is keeping
After
a close eye
quickly
on
changing
everything,
into her
but
bridal
Billy
dress in the
manages to
toilets,
reassure her.
she was horrified to
Don't thanks
discover
Billy
that their
for being
wedding
so
car had been
dependable,
clamped.
making him
The
feel
wedding
even
party
more
had
guilty
no
about the
choice
secret
but to
he is keeping.
squeeze into a van instead.
Although Kim's